Okay, I won't like discuss all of this because I will also switch on the screen reader in a moment, but this is basically the Beyond Meat website. It has the UserWay widget thingy on the bottom left. This is the dialog that jumps up that wants your email address, and it just like puts your focus on there. So that's always a good experience for users. And I will just reload so you see that it's like a fresh thing. I have nothing installed. I mean, I have my ad blockers here. I mean, I can allow this site to use, tracking and stuff. I don't want this to look like I'm doing stuff in the background that would be like interfering with anything, because I've heard that before. So this is basically the cleanest you get, like the most access you get to my computer in a normal setting. And so the first thing that you see is that we have this like animation in the background. I've animations autoplay off in my settings because it's a little bit upsetting to me. It's not like super bad, but I don't like it, so I have switched it off. It doesn't respect my user setting there, so that's really bad. And I assume that it's because it's probably a GIF in the background. So this is what we accessibility people do. We look at pages and we say like, oh, this is probably the reason why this doesn't work, and then we go back to the client and say like, hey, you have to respect that, and you want to make sure that that works. In this case, it's just using a video instead of a GIF, right? Which also probably is smaller in size because these are like high resolution images. So, just the normal boring stuff. Like this is nothing like earth-shattering. So now I'm in the email field, and the first thing I do is tapping through. So I press tab, and you have like the really light blue outline around the sign up. Now I would need to look if this is a 3:1 contrast ratio against the black. I just assume it is. This is focus styles have always been like a little bit like not super well defined, but you can see now we get a blue outline here. I guess it's because it recognized that I'm using the keyboard after I've used the keyboard, which is like sure, go ahead, do that. Then we go to privacy policy, then the X at the top, and this is the typical thing when you just slap on accessibility solutions on top of things. It doesn't really look nice, doesn't make for a good experience. I press tab again, and now I don't know where I am. Like my focus is invisible. Might be because I'm outside on the browser. I press tab again. Just to figure that out. Oh, and now I'm at skip to main content. So did I get to like the top again? I don't know. So to do that, I will show my bookmarks bar, my favorites bar as it's called, and I have a little tool that's called what the focus, that you can switch on and then you see where you are really clearly. So here we're going on, and here we see it has like a red thing, and it says 2 elements on the page have the same accessible name. And the accessible name comes from the ARIA label instead of the text here, which is interesting because you would think that the text content is sign up, but there's a ARIA label on top of it. You would never do that in practice. Like it's bad practice. It's probably just like the JavaScript, like doubling up, just to make sure that like this is the text, and this is not an accessibility error, right? This is just how this works. So I don't think. Oh no, I closed it. Getting it back here, pressing tab, and here we have this like again. 2 elements on the same page have the same accessible name. Doesn't need to be a bad thing. For example, if one is hidden or it's in the footer or something like that, it can be. And then we press tab and it says just close. The accessible name comes from the ARIA label. That's good. I mean, this is something that JavaScript algorithm can do really easily. Like if you find something and there's a graphic in it, it's inside a dialog and has no accessible name, we put the ARIA label on top of it. this is not like, this is like programming, like 101. Then we press tab. Now I'm inside here. That shouldn't happen. Oh, and now I'm on the accessibility menu. And as you can see, oh, now it has like a slight blue outline. I did not see, literally did not see that before. So it's technically doing it. It says accessibility menu. I press tab, and now I'm at the top, skip to main content. So, and then it says enable accessibility for impaired. I just want to go to the main content, right? Open the I don't want to do that. I was just there. Open the accessible navigation menu. Okay. Now I'm on the Beyond Meat logo, and it just put my focus somewhere else. I don't know why that happened. Trying it again. So what I think happens here is that the accessibility overlay tool notices, oh, I'm not inside of the dialog, and I should put the focus inside of the dialog. Because usually what you want to do is that everything that's not inside of the dialog, that everything there is inert, not accessible, not like you can't focus on it, you can't click on it, you can't interact with it. Now I noticed before I started the video that I can interact with this just fine, just scrolling around. That shouldn't happen. So there's obviously something where I can get into the content. I can do Shift Tab, which is always fun, through the dialog. So this is one of my little pet peeves, pet things that I like to do, is what happens if I go back? Because usually those dialogs are at the bottom, so I go back up again. Oh, and I'm at the bottom, and look, nothing happens. I can interact with stuff behind this overlay, like not the accessibility overlay, but behind the dialog element, just fine. It's not good. You don't want this to happen, because that means stuff that I can interact with, and it has accessible names and everything, means all of that is in the browser, and probably I can access it using the screen reader. And here you can also see, like in the top, there is this email sign up forms basically replicate on the page. That is why it said there are two things in here. Yeah, then you get Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all of those. You get a country selector, where the accessible name is United States yen. So this is a typical, like, I would usually fail that under the label in name success criterion, because the label is country region. It's not United States yen. So I would probably say, like, probably a best practice. I'm usually very lenient with stuff like this, but the accessible name is actually should be the label that is visible on the screen, and that's country region. It's not United States in brackets yen. Yeah, but so I can move through the site really easily. Like this, just doesn't even phase it. Like if I tap back, oh, there's more animation. Always like that. Tap back. Like this is a simple thing. Like now I'm on the Beyond Meat logo again, and you see also that you have two tabs here. Now I don't know if that will be fixed when I click, the accessibility menu or something like that. But I can try. So now I'm back inside of the dialog. And one of the things also, I cannot interact with the browser at the moment. Like it completely shut me out of that. Because usually when you get to the end of the page, you jump out to the tabs and stuff, and that doesn't let me do that. There's probably a shortcut that I could use to do that, but I can always press Command L to go to the location bar. So I close this, press just return. There's still animation going on, which is not great. So this is my first accessibility concern. So let's say I reload just for the sake of starting at the top. And now my goal is to get rid of those animations. So first I need to be not distracted enough to actually get to there, which is like one of the big downsides of these like menus, right? So I press tab. I don't know where I am again. Oh, am I on the accessible menu? Is that where I am? Is this the first thing? Yes, the first thing is the accessible menu, but then it like has different things from the accessible menu. So before you get into the page, you first have to interact with this. Like before you can jump to the main content, you have another step in between. So let's open the menu thing. So here I am. I opened it. I don't know where my focus went. It's like focus management is not the greatest. Press tab. Now close. English USA. Accessibility profiles. So this is interesting because usually these accessibility profiles are like the things that these people promote. So this is now hidden. And basically this is what like defines you as a disabled person. Like you choose from one of those. Like it looks like they only put like the more other stuff like on top of it. So if I'm here and I go to like so what I want, see, now I got distracted by the animation. So I want to stop the animation. It's my number one thing. So there is a pause animations thing here. And I use, just tapping through, and then I hit pause animation. And this happens. It's not the best thing. I guess I have to put in a warning for seizure warning in here. Didn't expect this to happen. I mean, I can hide images. That's good. And then I can pause animations and still like the stake stuff still doesn't work. So that's the thing, right? You try to fix something, but you don't know how it's built. So you do something, and in this case, pausing the animation actually creates like a terrible worse animation. So if someone comes here and says seizure and epileptic at the top, this would be the most people stopping animation. Press space, and then basically due to the rapid movement, you would get a seizure. Like, I'm sure this animation is triggering for a lot of people. And this is like a highlighted page from what they do. They don't respect my setting of not showing animations, and if I use their tool to stop animation, it breaks horribly. That's pretty awesome. I mean, I wanted to show so many things that could be like off and good and bad about this, but this is like, one of the things that just don't work. And also other things like, I mean, you can press dyslexia, which is the same thing, by the way, because dyslexic people are often like people who struggle with animation on the side because it distracts from the reading part. Like it takes up the brain, space, basically, that goes into reading, and this diverts that to looking at the animation, or diverts from reading. And you get the same thing, and it's probably a good way to figure out if you have epilepsy, if you find stuff like this, or if you seizures. Cognitive and learning, probably the same thing. Yes, you also get smart contrast, which I don't see. And look at the bottom left, how it overlays here really nicely. Oh, thanks for that big reading guide there. That makes my mouse pointer really nice to see how it overlays everything. It's just like, it's a one-size-fits-all thing, and I picked this at random. I picked Beyond Meat because I'm vegan, and I generally I bought the stuff, and it's good, but this experience is terrible. Like, what happens if I click motor impaired? Again, the same thing. Like it always pauses animations, and pausing animations.
UserWay screen reader enabled. Reading pace. Normal. 1 of 3.
Okay, if I'm blind, I probably have my own screen reader. It shouldn't just switch on a screen reader from nothing. It's not good. Not what I would have expected. What did we have for colorblind people? Do they also, you get these oversaturated things, which can be, useful. But this is literally like one line of CSS filtering to put a filter over it, and also does the smart contrast thing, which probably means there's things that would have low contrast would have better contrast, but this, for example, this should have enough contrast. Green is pretty good. Like, but here, what happens here on the left? Closing this, like this our mission thing now has a dark green overlay here. And that is probably not meeting the success criterion. I just realized that I haven't installed my color contrast picker because I have used other solutions in the past. But like this is not good. This is less contrast than if it was on the light green one. Like this, more contrast than this. Like I don't know what is smart about this. Same goes probably here for product details. No, here it doesn't do it. Same contrast, like same colors, but different treatment. No idea why. And yeah, you get these like high saturation. You can also get it in black or white. And you can reset everything. Like, but this is like so basic. If you click dyslexia friendly and you're not at the top where it gets seizures. Oh no, now it doesn't do it. Interesting. Oh, because I only clicked like this one and not the pause animation one. Like this font and this font and this font, they're basically the same. Like there's no tangible improvement there. Maybe this is a little bit better for some people and this is better for other people, but like, if I want to have accessible fonts, I set them in my browser and I override them for all the websites. I don't do this whole spiel on every website. We have page structure, which gives you headings, and these headings are pretty okay. I don't know if they have been in the source code. I didn't look that far. These are corrected, but you get things like better for your burgers, where it just repeats also all uppercase, which is not the greatest for screen reader users. Landmarks, you get navigation, then you get main, then you get a lot of sections that are not labeled, so they're useless. Then you have a header in here, which is part of the section, probably not super useful. And then you have a section with a form in it. Like nothing of this is labeled properly. Like it doesn't provide any additional information for me, And so it's like, okay, why am I doing this? And of course here we have links that are called Our Products button. This is interesting. Oh, now I clicked on it and it navigates there, but I want to see the Our Products button, like here on the top. I guess this is it. And what do we have here? Looking at the HTML, now this goes way, it's a link, and we see that it is, it's just link, doesn't say button, on here, so I don't know where that came from. Maybe it was down below. Because it clearly says this is a list of links, and then it says like button after it, which is a little bit weird. But no, this seems to be working okay. So yeah, I don't know what to make of this. Like, and of course you have things like tooltips where you can basically think the idea is that you can hover over things. Oh, here is like a submenu. So this could be a button instead of a link, but in the code it was like a button. So let's see what happens if I say, if I use the screen reader. Let's switch that on, and I will really quickly get rid of the cookies. The local storage. Nothing there. I want to make the dialog appear again. There we go. Delete that. Delete all of that. Some might be from like stuff. And here you see like, by the way, UserWay of course needs to save your settings to your browser. So this is basically what they do, is that you get all of these like recognized user behavior. I don't know what that means, but basically, yeah, they're selecting what you click and what you do here, and you know, because they have your IP, they can basically put that together over many websites. Just how stuff like this works, because it's coming from a third-party domain. Oh, and it already set the cookies, so this is apparently refreshing really quickly. So I will reload just to get the dialog again, which it doesn't show. Oh, it shows to me. Okay, so switching on the screen reader.
Join the movement, web dialog, email, edit text.
So join the movement, web dialog, email, edit text. This is actually pretty good.
Sign up, dimmed button.
Sign up dimmed button. So this is actually an inactive button, like a button that you can't press. Never got that visual feedback. So this is an accessibility issue. Like if your button cannot be pressed, you should make that clear, because I cannot like interact with this now. If I would not use a screen reader at the moment, I would say like, what's going on? You know, I might be under the impression I typed in my email and didn't take. And so, you know, this is like
link, privacy policy, opens a new tab. Close button.
So closing this. And we're nowhere. Like usually if you close a dialog, you want to go back where you opened the dialog or at the top of the page. This does nothing. And we're at the bottom of the page right now, probably. So I press tab.
Accessibility menu, dialog pop-up button, 10% loaded.
It says 10% loaded. I don't know why it says that. It might be just a Safari voiceover thing.
Skip to main content button, quick accessibility options, region.
So skip to main content. What I want is to go to the menu, right? Our products. That was what we are interested in.
Enable accessibility for visually impaired button.
So I'm simulating a screen reader user. I'm not super visually impaired, I would say. But let's say I just press return here. Oh, and it creates the sorry.
Accessibility menu, dialog pop-up button.
Oh god.
Accessibility menu opens. Accessibility profiles, really expanded button.
Oh, reset all at the bottom.
Oof. Accessibility settings have been reset.
Okay, that's
accessibility
not what
menu,
I want.
Dialog pop-up button.
It's a really bad example. Like,
quick visit link image Beyond Meat logo navigation. Open the accessible navigation menu button. Visit link. Open the accessibility menu button.
So there's
accessibility
also
menu opens. Web dialog. Close the accessibility menu button.
And then
open the accessibility menu button. Open the accessible navigation menu button. Visit link image Beyond Meat logo navigation.
So it says visit link image Beyond Meat logo navigation. So this is the basically home link. And then you press tab.
Visit link Beyond Meat logo.
And you get like the same thing. So these are two links. That should be one link. Accessibility, like nuisance, not the worst. But you know, I would write it probably up because that would be good to fix that. Then I press tab.
Visited link our products.
So now it says visited link our products. So what we have here is when we hover over it, we get this.
Visited link view all.
I don't know why it changed the focus here, but we get this like submenu.
Beyond Meat, vegan meat, plant-based meat substitutes, web content, quick accessibility options, and 3 more items group. Visited link image. Visited link our products.
We don't have that from here now. if I press return, what happens? Do I get to another page, which I think that would be my expectation, or does the submenu open? Pressing return.
Plant-based meat products, vertical line, vegetarian meat, vertical line, Beyond Meat, web content, 48%, 58% loaded, 89%, 90% loaded, 90% loaded.
So here we are on this page, and I guess all of the products are here on the side.
Enable access, open the, visit, link, where to buy, link, product details, Beyond Burger,
Yes.
link, product Beyond Stack, link, product Cookout Classic, link, product details, Beyond Beef, slide,
So I don't know why it says slide here. I cannot slide
Beyond Beef,
anything.
slide, new line, Beyond Beef, slide, Beyond Beef package image,
And it says Beyond Beef package image, but you know, I don't know why it says slide, because it's not a slide, it's just an image.
link, product details, next button,
So yeah, you don't go through the submenu, but then you have all the information here, which is actually good practice. You know, if you have to decide, I think discrete pages are always better than pop-outs and stuff like that. But there's a difference in how this works. I would just quickly want to show the rotor.
cut, next button,
Oops, press the wrong
window spots
place.
menu,
So
links menu, on item, product details,
this is the links menu. So this lists all the links on the page, and you see that it has repeatedly product
details, product details, product details, product details,
Now this is only AAA issue, but for an automated system, like if it knows, oh, it's in the same section, and there are repeated words, I think this would be this is an algorithm that you can really easily write, I think. So I don't know why this happens. Because it also doesn't say where
product details,
so let's go to
headings menu, on item 2, Beyond Sausage,
and here we have our products as the heading level 1, and then you have all the different headings.
2,
underneath
Beyond
it.
Breakfast, 2, Beyond Beef Crumbles,
And these are actually pretty good. So you go to Beyond
heading level 2, 2
Crumbles,
items, Beyond Beef Crumbles,
and then you can go with Control Alt and right,
the perfect meat filling for Taco Tuesdays, spaghetti sack, find them in the frozen section, link, product details,
and then you get link product details. So it's in context, it's okay. But yeah, this is an easy accessibility enhancement, but they're not interested in that. They just want the basic compliance. Yeah, this is, by the way, all without additional accessibility help here from the tool. It's just the basic thing. Now let's go into rotor again.
headings menu, on item 2, Beyond Soft Form Controls menu, on item next button,
There are a lot of form controls because there are buttons, and you start
Cookout
with
Beyond Stack Burger, slide, Beyond Burger, slide, Beyond Stack Burger, slide,
Beyond Stack Burger slide. So
Beyond Stack Burger,
here,
slide,
oh, not here, but at
link,
the other.
Beyond Burger, slide, link, where to buy, link, Beyond Stack, link, Cookout, link, Beyond Beef, link, next button, original, slide,
So
next
these are
button.
the slides basically, and that's why we had slides at the bottom, but we couldn't know that sometimes they had multiples. So here they have Beyond Beef Crumbles, which are just original, and then they have feisty ones, and you can switch around.
Accessibility menu, dialog pop-up button, close tab button, actions available, accessibility menu,
Okay, I
dialog
don't
pop-up
know why
button,
it,
skip to main content button, enable accessibility, open the, visit, link, image, visit, link, learn,
It just threw us out here. I don't
link,
know why.
link, beyond stack, link, Cookout class, link, Beyond Beef, link, product detail, previous button,
So, oh, I see why. Because when you're at the end of the slide, it removes the focus. Now this is an inactive button.
link, product details,
See how
previous
I'm
button,
not accessing the next button. I only access the previous button. Now I press the previous button,
beef crumbles pizza,
and now this is deactivated. If I do Shift
link,
Tab,
privacy policy, content information,
it doesn't know where I am anymore. Super common accessibility issue. And gets you really into trouble with me. Losing focus is one of the things that you should never do. And that it does this here at such an easy thing, just make sure that it's not focusable. you know, I can hover on it over it and it looks interactive. Also an accessibility issue, not a WCAG sanctioning one, but like this should not be in like look interactive. Like, you know, make it deactivated
Menu.
properly. And go out of the screen reader to show this.
Voiceover off.
So in the inspector, and here we got this like, and yeah, and you get the ARIA label here, but you also get the disabled attribute, and that basically makes it like inactive. And the previous is here in the title of the SVG. That's probably where the ARIA label gets it from. I don't know. So what I now want to do is look at it without the tool. So what I need to do for that is basically turn blocking on again. And then I want to stop basically this tool from being loaded. So I go into the inspector with the right shortcut, and then I go into it's probably in the head, right? Where stuff goes. So it's cdn.userway.org. So I want to basically block that from my content blocker. So I copy that. I go here. I go hide element, which opens my content blocker here. And then I can here block not now custom, and then I can add a new rule, and that's UserWay, and then this was HTTPS. And then you save that, and basically that already like takes care of like, you know, blocking the UserWay widget, and I often have to do that to review sites, you know, for you know, when I use other overlay or when they use other overlay things. So now I reload, and you can see that the widget is not there anymore. And now we can see if any of this changes. Like I press tab, go through, like this works pretty the same. Like the focus style is not as good, of course, but you know, it doesn't like super change what's happening. Focus styles is like one code of CSS. Here we have even like a little bit of better focus style, I want to say, like at least I think it's clearer. So I press next and the tab is of course lost. This is normal behavior, and we would have expected that. And we go to our products, see it also loads this. So this is also nothing that the tool itself does. Let's look at the list of headings in the screen reader really quick.
Voiceover on Safari. Personal. Plant-based meat products. Vertical line. Vegetarian meat. Vertical line. Beyond meat. Window. Plant-based meat product.
Press tab. And there's no alternative text here. So this is an enhancement that was done by the overlay that we now know that this is.
Visited. Link. Beyond meat logo. Navigation.
Or is
Visited. Link. Image. Beyond meat logo.
Oh no, it's not. So this is already good on the normal page. I don't know why it hasn't read that before. Sometimes there's like caching things. So yeah, so this is image Beyond Meat logo.
Visited. Link. Beyond meat logo. Visited. Link. Our products. Link. Food service. Link. Learn. Link. Recipes. Link. Buy. Link. Where to buy. Main.
So this works pretty much the same.
Link. Product details. Beyond Burger. Slide.
Beyond Burger slide.
Link.
Same
Product
thing.
details. Beyond Stack Burger. Slide. Link. Product details. Cookout Classic. Slide. Link. Product details. Beyond Beef. Slide. Link. Product details. Next button. Original.
Button.
Slide. Feisty. Slide. Feisty. Slide. Next button. Next button. Feisty Tacos. Visited. Link. Image. Beyond Meat logo. Close
here
tab
it
button.
even said,
Actions available.
this is fun. Here it even said feisty tacos, which is probably some alternative text somewhere, but this was not announced when I used it with the
Plant-based meat
UserWay
products,
overlay.
vertical line, vegetarian meat, vertical line, Beyond Meat, web content group, and 2 more items group.
So that's interesting. Even if we look at the rotor,
Form controls menu. On item Beyond Burger slide.
like this is not.
Beyond Step Cookout Beyond Beef. Next. Dimmed button. Previous button. Original slide. Feisty slide. Next button. Previous. Dimmed button. Wrapped original slide.
Like this is also not like super good, but it's
Landmarks
also not
menu.
super bad.
On item main window spots menu. Links menu. On item Beyond Meat logo.
Links
Visited.
are the same as well. What you see is now Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest. They're all uppercase. Instead of like lowercase and with a opens in a new window text. So somehow the two things it needs to rewrite those with lowercase stuff, which I don't think is good practice, but it doesn't make the big difference. Yeah.
Headings menu.
So
On item 1. Our products.
honestly, look at the homepage.
New line. Group.
So look at the homepage. Make this responding to like user preferences. Put a little bit more into like your labels and your links and how they're named. Make the focus better. Yeah, and you got a good website here. Nothing here is like terrible, and it's like I don't even know why they would need an overlay for this.
Headings menu. On item 1. Better for you steak. Form controls menu. On headings menu. On item 1. Better for you burgers.
Like here we have one of the things
1.
that
Better for you
often
burgers.
happens. Like
2. Our.
here, our
2. Mission.
admission. And this is actually at the bottom. It doesn't properly scroll because of the JavaScript.
2. Our. 2. Mission.
But you have our and mission in 2 heading level 2s. That's obviously a WCAG fail. Not irredeemable. Also not the worst thing that ever happened. But usually you would just put the H2 on our mission here on the left instead of on the right. But that's fine. But this is one thing where I think maybe AI can help with that. I don't know. It feels like our is not a full heading, so maybe we can put that into one H2. Let's see if they do that.
Close toolbar in table.
Einblöcke.
And 2 more items group.
So I switch blocking off,
PT's coffee everything plant-based sandwich.
which should
Reload page.
show
Beyond meat.
the
Vegan
overlay
meat. Plant-based meat substitutes.
again. There it is. And now it does stuff in the background, right? That's always the promise. Like, oh no, we do most of the things just in the background. So I go to
Headings menu. On item 1. Better for you burgers.
and you have better for your
2.
burgers.
Better for you burgers.
Better for your burgers as the H2. It's wrong.
2. Our.
And then we have our
2.
mission.
Beyond steak package image.
So maybe it's
No items in
better
headings
if
menu. Beyond steak package. Link. Privacy policy.
Oops,
Content information. Show sidebar. Tab group picker. Menu button. Go back. Send to bear. Accessibility menu. Dialog pop-up button.
if I click in here and I say
Accessibility profiles. Expanded button.
blind.
UserWay screen reader enabled.
But
Reading case. Reading page. UserWay screen reader disabled.
Thank you very much. This is the only thing they do for blind people. Do I have a keyboard? Oops, sorry. I have a keyboard setting. A lot of these things have keyboard settings, but it looks like they don't. So then I just want to know what their screen reader is doing with this. Like, because I've never used this
Widget language. Voiceover off.
before. So I'd go.
UserWay screen reader enabled. Reading pace. Normal. 1 of 3.
So this is way too slow for me.
Reading pace. Fast. 2 of 3.
And this is way too fast. I would need like a setting in between, which there are no settings here. Like there's only fast and slow and probably super fast.
Reading pace.
Oh, no.
Slow. 3 of 3.
Oh, this is slow. So it goes normal, fast, slow, which makes no sense.
UserWay screen reader enabled. Reading pace. Normal. 1 of 3.
So I use normal because that's the only thing I can.
Accessibility menu.
Tolerate.
Navigation landmark.
Wow, that was very yellow. I don't know what happened there. I just want
Navigation landmark.
Okay, it reads everything I click apparently.
Packed with flavor, not cholesterol.
So one of the easy things that are broken here is if I don't click like
Steak.
on the word.
View all.
Wait,
Link.
what did happen? Like this is super weird. So if I click on the navigation, it reads the it says it's the navigation and it puts yellow text behind white font, which is obviously unreadable.
Navigation landmark.
But that's all it reads. So what happens if I do tap navigation? Like this is really weird.
Beyond Meat logo. Link.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond Meat logo. Link. Our products. Link. Food service. Link. Learn. Link. Recipe. Buy. Link. View now. Link.
Okay, so how do I go through stuff with
Protein packed. Delicious and plant. Tray of burgers. Girl eating Beyond Burger. Picture. Tray of burgers. Picture. Accessibility menu. Button.
Okay, just starts going into one direction. I just want to go to the next thing. So yeah, this is
Quick accessibility options. Section landmark. Skip to main content. Button. Enable accessibility for visually impaired. Open the navigation landmark. Beyond Meat logo. Beyond Meat. Our product. Food serve. Learn. Recipe. Buy. Link. Main landmark. Section landmark. Better for you burgers. Header. Better for you burgers. Header. Girl eating Beyond Burger. Picture. Boy eating Beyond Sausage. Picture. Beyond Sausage on a plate. Picture. Packed with flavor, not cholesterol. Accessibility menu. Button.
And now it's switched me out because it removed the slide. I got to a different slide and it totally lost where I am. So with their built-in own screen reader, I cannot skip over this like section at the top. I press right again.
Quick accessibility options. Skip to main content. Enable open the navigation landmark. Beyond Meat logo. Link. Beyond Meat logo. Our product. Foods. Learn. Protein pack. Where to play. Section landmark. Animated image of hands grabbing pizza slices featuring Beyond Meat crumbles. Picture. Our. Header. Mission. Header. Our mission. Feed a better future. Header. Our mission is to create delicious, nutritious, sustainable protein so that you can eat what you love. Registered sign. No sacrifice required. Our mission. Link.
So it just starts and stops reading. I can really have a really hard time to interact with it because you don't have the standard screen reader keys. I don't even know if there's a heading menu, like pressing Control H maybe. No. No, I would not know how to show headings, jump around, all the good things that screen readers are for, instead of just like reading the screen. Because if you're blind, this will not help you, despite that being like the only setting that you get.
Close the accessibility menu.
And it only has keyboard shortcut Control dot.
Quick accessibility options. Section landmark. UserWay screen reader disabled.
Oh, it just disabled, enabled. Which is, Sure. But yeah, like all the good stuff of screen readers, like the navigation, the skimming part, all of that stuff, just not available, which is like, I would not call that a screen reader. I would call that a reading software. That would be it. You can do fun stuff like setting the text alignment with CSS, which is also a one-line CSS thing, setting the line height, literally one line of CSS. Showing the page structure, we looked at that before, and there you see the our mission thing that is not fixed. Also the duplicated header, like it's not good. Like this does not benefit, I wouldn't say at all, from the overlay. Like there's nothing that the overlay repairs apart from like some focus styles, and that's literally like one block of CSS. You can do bigger text, but then stuff runs into each other. I don't know what 200% is, but if you look at this, super hard to read. Here stuff gets cut off, which is an accessibility, like a WCAG failure. American ... I don't know. So yeah, it's just not sufficient. Like this is not an accessible website with or without the tool. And I think a skilled remediator would probably need to fix the worst things. Go in with full code control, and of course not with like teaching anything. Would probably need like a day, a couple of days to fix like the most outrageous things. And probably not put in a seizure button because that is ridiculous. Like, and the UserWay people put this on their website as a featured thing. I can just show it. So it's not like, oh, Eric, you picked this because you knew it was bad. I literally went in here and clicked on one of those. And because I'm a customer, Beyond Meat, jumped at me, and I was like using this. Yes, this is trusted by leading brands, and I don't know why. Because this is just not good enough. It's not good enough. And yeah, you have all these options, but these options don't really bring you like any near. You can highlight links, which makes these things even less stand out. It's just like these. Oh, we're just putting stuff on top of things, and we hope it works. You can hide images, but then you lose all the flavor, which is not good. And it's like I really don't have words, because this is not a bad website. This is a good website. Couple of days, putting in, fixing the issues, fixing the CSS, working out how to implement these videos with a video element. Really straightforward, honestly. It's like, yeah, not doing this. And I mean, it said like here for the pizza, it said this would be an animated image. Here it says animated image of hands grabbing pizza slices. Now I don't see that, despite it being an image, and it's just a JPEG, so it cannot be animated. So I would not know where this animation comes from, because this is one of the few images not animated, but it says animated. Is that an alternative text that comes from the AI, which I only say in air quotes, or is this like a backend failure? I mean, I can block again the scripts here and see what happens if we really inspect that right now. Inspect element. Yes, it says animated image here. So this is actually a wrong alternative text. Didn't get caught by the AI, which shows that like you need people reviewing this. Like this is not animated, and it's not a great important detail. If this was the only thing I would find in an accessibility review, I would probably not even mention it, because it's not like the effort is not like doesn't really matter for a blind person viewing the site if this is a little animation or not. But man, it sucks. Like literally you can fix most of the issues with a good user style sheet, and then you have like things that you can't fix, like the animations, which are which you can actually reduce animation and stuff like that for them, and I think that would work pretty nicely. But instead they're using an overlay. It doesn't work. I think that's all I have to say today. And now I commented everything anyway.